Hi everybody, Kevin here. We're going to be taking a look at a Xeon deck that I took to my locals yesterday. Or hopefully this video can be used as sort of a guide for you based on the cards that you have. Because I understand how difficult it is to get boosters and product and stuff like that at the moment. Because we're still in like the first week of Gundam card game. But also like to preface that this deck is based on the cards I have at the moment. In the foreseeable future, I'll be providing updates on what I've changed and what I've taken out and all that stuff. So be sure to leave a like and sub for that. Yeah. But anyways, let's get to the deck profile, right? Hello, we're back. Different shirt Kevin here. We actually tried recording it, but then my cards coincidentally came in, so I might as well show the updates now instead of just like teasing y'all what I'm playing. So this is the updated deck list based on cards I have at the moment. More cards are probably coming in soon-ish, but for the most part, this is pretty much what I'm going to play for Xeon Rush / Midrange. More Xeon Midrange. I think I would like to call that better. So let's call out what the units are. So of course, we got your 4 Zaku II. It's great because it does the +2, so that's 3, gets rid of EX bases. That's the whole purpose of having 4 Zakus, so you can have it in your hand in your beginning turn, right? Because the return on investment for it is great. Just get rid of EX base, that's the whole purpose. Anything else is a bonus, basically. So then you play the 4 Char Zaku II from the starter deck. This one I technically prefer a lot more because destruction, when it's destroyed and sent to trash, graveyard, or whatever, you're able to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and then be able to add Neo Xeon or a Xeon card, unit card from whatever that pile, and then add it to your hand. Unlike the other decks at the moment, Xeon by itself can't really search or excavate or scry or whatever you want to call it, right? Well, they can scry technically with the DOP and the sniper, but I don't really like playing those to begin with. But overall, in terms of adding stuff from your deck to your hand and searching, quote unquote, this is really your only option. So in the event of choosing between the starter deck version of the Char Zaku II or the booster pack / beta one, then 90% of the time I'm always going to summon this one. Obviously it depends on your board state and what you want to do, but by that logic we also play 4 of the Char Zaku II from the New Type Rising booster pack. This one, during pair, once destroyed, is able to get a Zaku token. It does come up. I was playing locals messing around, and then what happened was my opponent just didn't bother clearing out the token, so it just had free advantage. Especially since it's rested, that means your following turn is going to be able to attack. And if it manages to live more than like 1 or 2 turns, then I think that's just great value. That's what we're talking about in this, Zaku playing Xeon. It's about thinking value and making smart trades, because you make one mistake or one wrong trade, then you're going to lose. So there's that. Next one we have Kshatryia, normal Kshatryia, especially since it's meant to be paired up with Marida, which I should have 4 of, but at the moment I only have 2, spoiler. So instead, we're only playing 3 of these. You can obviously put in full frontal, but then full frontal is a level 6, meaning you're less likely to play it in early games. And drawing it like off your hand is kind of like a bad draw, right? So there you go. Kshatryia, and then finally 3 Gelgoog. 1, 2, 3 normie Gelgoog. It's great because you can pair this with Char. You can pair this with other Xeon trait pilot cards. I'm also playing Makuve. Makuve is another option that can add like a quick boost, and mostly because the reason why I absolutely love this deck, this is the GOAT card right here, Char's Gelgoog. It's absolutely a 4 of, no negotiations. I know some of you maybe don't have the budget or whatever, but if you can play 4 of this, you should play as many copies as possible. Why, Kevin? Why is this card so good? Because if you do not know the effect, activate main, one of the rare times I can see that on a unit card, and then discard 1 Xeon, Neo Xeon unit card. If a pilot is not paired with this unit, choose 1 new type pilot card that is level 3 or lower from trash, pair it with this unit. What does that mean? Out of all the other decks at the moment, I don't believe you're able to recycle pilots from graveyard, right? Or trash. Because once it's paired and like the thing is destroyed, it's just sitting there. However, Char's Gelgoog allows you to play a lot more aggressively. So that means you can pair like your Char with other random things, such as what I'm talking about with the normie Gelgoog, right? Which is Xeon trait. So you can get like the link effect and rush, and then attack the turn it's summoned. And then since it's already in graveyard, you won't have to worry about like managing your Char or like whatever. Because that means like you can attach it to your Zaku, your normie Gelgoog, and then if you have Char's Gelgoog in hand, you can pitch a card and get that back, and then have another high maneuver +2, technically +6 to attack like any base to get rid of that, and also to obviously attack shields like constantly. So even though your opponent thought like, oh, he's out of pilots, you can just play Char's Gelgoog, get another one, and then you pitch like things that are not valuable at the moment, like maybe you have a Sinanju, maybe you have the Zaku II, because we do play 4 of those, remember? Things like that, so you can pair it with Char. But remember, it does say new type pilot card, right? So you could technically pair it with other new types that you may be running as well. And probably in the foreseeable future, there's gonna be another Char assemble card, most likely, right? So this card is also kind of low-key future-proof, because the next set is gonna be like something with Zeta Gundam. So odds are you're gonna see like, I don't know, Quattro Vagina. Maybe it's considered like a Char card or something like that in this effect. But I'm just saying, Char's Gelgoog is what makes this deck kind of work. I cannot stress how important this card is. Hopefully that makes sense, right? If you have this and Char in your hand, try to mulligan for it, right? If you have that, you're set. You're gonna recycle your Char, high maneuver, bop bop, bing bop boom, you win. There you go. Now we're playing more high level stuff. We're playing 3 Kshatryia. Ping damage, which means like doing tiny damage here and there, and then you're able to clean it up with Marida, because when you pair it with Marida, she's able to do 1 damage upon attack, right? And especially since it says choose 1 to 2 any units, deal 1 damage to them. Maybe you got some random blocker that already took some hits from your Zaku or something. The Kshatryia can clean it up, because you attack the base or shield, and then you do damage to the units. That's like 2 free damage right there. So there you go. That's why I play 3. 4 is maybe too much. 4 might be too much because level 5, I personally find okay with 3, just from random testing online, but 3 is okay. Next, the other big boy, 4 Sinanju. Now, why are you playing 4 of these and only 3 of Kshatryia? I'll tell you why. Because anytime you summon Sinanju, you're probably going to win the game 90% of the time. Because by that point, if the game plan goes well, your opponent's going to be down to very few like shield cards left, and so Sinanju already has built-in high maneuver, right? And then also it's able to swarm, because most likely you're going to pair it with like full frontal to able to get like a Char's Gelgoog or anything level 4 or lower, and then also do 2 damage to it once you attack the shield area. So in conjunction with Kshatryia, which already does 2, right, from Marida and also from the unit itself upon pairing, and then also with Sinanju, since it's high maneuver, all the blockers like freedom, blah blah blah, it doesn't matter. You just get rid of, just bypass it, do 2 damage, and let your other units try to deal with that. Because the whole point of this deck is you want to play very proactively and set the tempo. You don't want to let your opponents like set up their board with a bunch of blockers and blah blah blah. It doesn't. You just got to play very fast and hard. That's the whole point of Sinanju, right? Fast, and as quick as you can. So there you go, 4 Sinanju. That's it for units. Monsters. Next, of course, pilots. We got 4 Char, GOAT of the deck, because it allows you to have high maneuver and also +2 technically from its ability once it does attack. And remember, you can recycle this with Char's Gelgoog, so you can play and pair your Char aggressively, right? Maybe normally in other decks you wouldn't be wanting to pair your specific card with like a random Xeon trait kind of card, but with this deck and with Char's Gelgoog you can. So that's why you gotta play 4 of that. I play just Makuve at the moment because that's what I have. He's just basically another Xeon trait name, so you can have the link effect for the normal Gelgoog or something. I don't play Gan. I don't think it's that great anyways. Breach is not important when every other card does high maneuver, so I don't think it's important. You don't need to do that. 2 Marida. I will play 4 of her if I can, but 2 is fine because it's a new type, or a cyber new type and Neo Xeon, so then it does the conjunction with the Kshatryia, right? So that's kind of the whole purpose there. Finally, we got 3 full frontal. 2 is probably too little, 1 is not enough, 4 is too much, because if you draw this on your opening turn, it's not great because you gotta wait like 6 turns. And we don't have ramp at the moment unless you play EX wing bird mode, whatever, with the Gundam wing stuff. So I think 3 is fine ratio. I think for pilots so far from testing, I think 10 to 12 is a good ratio. Very rarely do you want to go under that unless you're playing like something super specific and can be able to draw, like white and blue, where you play Resolve, which is basically like kind of like Pot of Greed, right? And the Show Affection, which is like draw 2 and discard 1 or whatever. So those are the only things. Finally, we play 4 combat cards, which is, or command cards, close combat. I like playing this because you're able to play kind of mind games with your opponent. For example, during you end your turn and you still have 2 resources available. If your opponent sees that, he's probably thinking, okay, maybe he has a command card, close combat in his hand, maybe I shouldn't attack, maybe I shouldn't summon this, blah blah blah, and actually I had nothing in my hand. And plus the burst effect is important. So I like having things that can interact with your opponent on any turn, and this kind of acts like a bluff card. So I play 4 of these. You never know. It gets rid of blockers, get rid of annoying cards here and there. Maybe like small ping damage. You just add 2, it adds up, right? There you go. And then finally for bases, I play 2 Mining Asteroid Palau, mostly because of the number, health, 6 health. That's, I believe, the highest one in the game aside from the green one for Gundam Wing, right? But it's very rare for things to be like 6. And plus the deploy effect, that's fine, that's normal standard, right? And then 2 of the Zanzibar, because you're able to swarm with that and add a shield to your hand. So there you go. That's basically the deck. Anything else I should probably mention? Kevin. Why are you not playing certain cards? Why are you not playing things like the good old Rickdom? This is part of the discussion, right? Rickdom. Personally, I don't like Rickdom because it does reach 2. I mean, how often you're gonna do 2 damage, like enough damage to get 2 to your opponent's shield area or whatever, right? Because remember, the stats are 3/3, it can't be linked. I don't think it's great because you already have high maneuver from Char's shenanigans, so I don't think it's a great option. I know you can, but I just choose not to. Absolutely, if you think it's good, that is your own opinion, and you can absolutely do that, but this is obviously a suggestion. Next, I think card that has a lot of discussion in general, as you can see already from the spoilers, is the good old DOP. Good old DOP. What do you think of DOP, Kevin? I will tell you what I think of DOP. I think DOP is complete garbage. Extremely hot take, but I think it's complete garbage, mostly because, number one, the stats are bad. Yeah, it's a 1-drop, meaning that you can summon it on your first turn, but remember, it says you can look at the top card of your deck, return it to the top or bottom of your deck. So really, if you think about it, when you summon this, you don't get to add a card to your hand, first of all, right? And you only really would get value out of this if you choose to put the top card to the bottom, right? Because if you just leave it on that, then you were going to draw it anyways, and it didn't really matter. So I'll rather have something more useful in general, which is something like, I don't know, do I have a copy lying around? Like this good old Zaku Sniper. Here we go. Zaku Sniper, right? You will probably play this because even though the stats are bad, 0-1, it has support effect, and also the deploy where you can actually add a Xeon or a Neo Xeon card, unit card. So this one allows you to look. That's basically it. It has 1-1. What are you really gonna do damage to, anyways? It's not gonna be great because against blockers, it's gonna get destroyed. You're gonna do 1 damage. Whoop-de-doo, right? Versus this, where you get that potentially add a card, and then also at least has a support effect where you can, like, you know, rest it, and then something else gains like the +1, which may come up. Who knows? Yeah, the cost is slightly different, but if you're gonna play something kind of searching card, like a searcher, play this. Don't play this. This is complete. I just don't like it. It's terrible. You only get value out of this if you know you're gonna get the top card and put it to the bottom of the deck. Because if you was on the top of the deck and you're gonna keep it and not, like, you know, put it to the bottom of the deck, then you're gonna draw it anyways. What was the point? You know what I mean? I don't know. And plus, obviously, late games, since we're playing like some kind of mid-range kind of deck-esque, what like, this doesn't do anything. It just summon and then look, top card, put it at the bottom. That's it. You don't even get to add it. So completely useless. What are you gonna do with 1 damage anyways? That's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to fight. But yeah, I'll die on that hill. If you gotta play a searcher card, then play Zaku 1 Sniper. There you go. Another card I know gets a lot of hubbub around is maybe Big Zam. I also did test Big Zam. Big Zam is a very big boy. But remember, it's kind of similar to the good old Dom and the Gyan, where it has Breach 4. I guess, yeah, you can breach and then do damage to just people's shield area or bases or whatever, but the cost of summoning it and the stats are not really great to begin with. Because, like, Dozo Zabi, if you're gonna link it up, that card isn't great to begin with, because it's like some weird command card where you make tokens. And then also the deploy effect, I mean, you have 10 or more Xeon, Neo Xeon unit cards in your trash, deal 4 damage to all units with blocker. That's only for blockers, right? Remember, this deck doesn't care about blockers, because with high maneuver and Char, you're gonna get past everything anyway. So, you know, I just my ideas for if you're gonna play Xeon mid-range is what I like to call it. This is probably the way to go. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Please let me know in the comments down below what you guys are playing at your neck of the woods. Is this trash? I'm always open to ideas and theory crafting, because I can talk about this for days, you know, for hours. I love Gundam. This is a very fun card game so far, especially playing around locals. Yeah. Thank you for watching. See you guys around. Bye bye.